Congressman Adam Schiff, the top Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee. Congressman, thank you very much. I mean, just following the course correction also of the way the president treated Vladimir Putin on this trip this weekend was pretty remarkable. Your reaction?
Well, the whole thing is remarkable and remarkably bad. I mean, here you have the President of the United States meeting with a foreign adversary, basically saying, I not only accept Mr. Putin at his word, but it's insulting to Mr. Putin to raise these things. And these other people of the contrary view, who just happen to be the former heads of U.S. intelligence agencies, they're a bunch of hacks. It is really unthinkable. And, you know, while this does some more damage to the intelligence community, it mostly damages the president himself. It impeaches his own credibility. People know Director Clapper and Director Brennan and have enormous confidence and faith in them within the intelligence community and without. And we now have a situation where the President of the United States says, well, I raised the Russian meddling issue during the meeting, and the Russians saying, no, he didn't. And you have the White House saying that he raised with the Philippine autocrat human rights abuses or the anti-drug campaign, and they're saying, no, he didn't. And honestly, we don't know who to believe. And who would imagine a situation where people around the world, our allies and our foes alike, simply don't know whether they can believe the word of the President of the United States. And this is what he's brought on himself.
And Senator McCain's tweet about all of this weekend was that there's nothing America first about taking the word of KGB Colonel Putin over U.S. intelligence community. There is no principled realism in cooperating with Russia to prop up murderous Assad regime. To believe otherwise is naive and places national security at risk. Then you had the president at a news conference in Vietnam trying to sort of correct the record, saying, well, let's take a look at this.
I'm surprised that there's any conflict on this. What I said there is that I believe he believes that, and that's very important for somebody to believe. I believe that he feels that he and Russia did not meddle in the election. As to whether I believe it or not, I'm with our agencies, especially as currently constituted with their leadership. I believe in our intel agencies.
As currently constituted. So, I mean, he had also, in disagreeing with the conclusion about the 2016 campaign, he'd also dissed his own intelligence, his own DCI, the director Pompeo, and the intelligence community, Dan Coates, and what all of them have been saying ever since.
Well, this is exactly right, Andrea. He's saying basically the intelligence agencies are just political agencies, and I couldn't believe them because those career professionals like Clapper and Brennan, who've served the country for 30 or 50 years, respectively, well, you just can't trust them because they're part of a political establishment. But now I've got my own political establishment. I'm doing my own politicization of the intelligence agencies, so now I can rely on them. That's a horrible message that nobody within the IC believes or accepts, but it denigrates the agencies nonetheless. And you know, this is just how he operates. You know, constant motif. Everything that came before me was awful and bad and wrong, and we were dupes. And now everything is great. But he goes overseas. He doesn't put the country first, as John McCain said, and I made the same observation immediately when I learned of the president's comments. He's putting Vladimir Putin first. He's putting his own, that is Donald Trump's own narrow personal self-interest before the country. And that is a terrible quality to have in the President of the United States.
And after an insult from Kim Jong-un, calling him either old or a lunatic or some such thing, a dotard, he tweeted to Kim Jong-un, why would Kim Jong-un insult me by calling me old when I would never call him short and fat? Oh, well, I try so hard to be his friend, and maybe someday that will happen. Trying to figure out how that advances relations in the region against North Korea.
Well, it doesn't. And, you know, here's the thing. There are things that we can do constructively and really need to be doing, working with our allies, working in concert, bringing broader pressure to bear on China to crack down on North Korea. And nothing the president is doing is helping with that. And the clock is ticking. Time is not on our side here. The North Koreans continue to make progress with their missile program, with their nuclear program. We need to have everything going in the right direction, working together within the administration and with our allies. And when we're engaged in petty insult exchanges with the North Korean dictator, in which case you can't tell who is saying it? Is that the President of the United States saying it, or is it the North Korean despot saying it? That is not serving our national interest. And unfortunately, it's not as if the world is standing still while all this is going on. I think our place in the world, our leadership in the world is receding, and our security is receding along with it.
Well, thank you very much, Congressman Schiff, for being with you. I know when you were all in session, it's going to be a busy week in House Intel.